Hello, everyone. How are you, Psychic Samadhi?
Oh, I'm wonderful. How are you doing, Kat?
I'm good. I was going to play a lovely video at the start, and just as I clicked go live, I realized, oops, I didn't play the video.
Was it the one that I commented on the other day? I noticed you guys had new videos at the start and at the end.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I'll play it at the end.
Love it. Love it.
So we have a few viewers. Let's have a look. Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching. This is Psychic Samadhi.
Hi, everyone. Please do comment. Please do say hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Sierra.
And you're doing readings tonight. And chatting to anyone wants to talk about. Hello, Sierra.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, can I just jump into talking about intuition? Can I do that? Because, is that good, Kat?
I'm going to move you to your show.
Have okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi. Hi, Tim. Welcome. Tara Lynn, welcome. So I wanted to talk about intuition and just looking at, I mean, I didn't plan to talk about this, but just looking at the deck that I've been using for the past few days since I got it, I wanted to share a brief story, which is reminding me how much we ignore our intuition, but how much we really do have to pay attention to it. Let me just say hello to people who are popping in. Billy, welcome. Sandy, welcome. Matt, welcome. I think that's Matt is Morgan. Is that right? Is that you, Morgan? Well, welcome. Nice to see you all. Just adjusting that right here. So the story that I wanted to share is a very brief story, I promise. Hi, Natalie. Welcome, everyone. Is that last year at an event in Toronto, and that's where I'm living. In Toronto, Canada, there was an event. It was an oracle card event. And basically, some well-known psychic and mediums had basically a conference, but it was really fun. Like, it was high energy. It wasn't boring at all. And it was a class on using oracle cards. And while I do mainly use tarot, I also use oracle. And so anyway, at that event, at the end, and actually throughout, they were selling different decks, okay? And I remember that I was trying to decide, because as much as I had heard John Holland speak, and as much as I had read I'd read a book of his, I hadn't bought a deck of his. So I was like trying so long to decide which of these I would choose. And I remember being like, I saw myself using one of the deck that I ended up just like leaving behind, because I was like, you know what, I don't need to buy all the decks at once. But lately it was on sale, and I was like, you know what, now this is not about, you know, just buy everything that you're intuitively drawn to, right? Because that's why I chose not to get into crystals, because I knew, apart from a few that I have and that I wear, I didn't want to get super into that, you know, spiral of buying everything. Welcome everyone who's here. Welcome, welcome. I'm sorry if I haven't said hi, but welcome. Nice to see everyone. Okay, so I could get into so many different examples, but I really have found that the more I have gone into my, let's say, my spiritual development or post-spiritual awakening, and I mean, I'm not so thrilled about those labels either, but sometimes it is good to sort of, when you're reflecting on things, and particularly when you're discussing these things with others who may have similar experiences, it's good to sort of use certain labels. So anyway, so I have found that post, you know, spiritual awakening and the steps that have been involved since then, I have found that, you know, when I look back, I'm like, you know what, I had an intuition about this. I had an understanding about that. And even though at the time throughout my life, I didn't label those particular things or ways of knowing, or, you know, those things that would just happen and that I would understand, I didn't label them as such. But when I reflect, I realize that my guides or my guardian angels or whatever you're comfortable, even I don't know what I'm calling them, but definitely I just group them as guides. I definitely know that all along my guides have been trying to get me to see things. Now, because I have free will, I may not have seen all these things. Welcome everyone who's joining. Hi, Joy. Hi again. So I was mentioning to Kat that I was on a live earlier for a few hours, and I was there with some of my favorite peeps. Sharing is definitely caring. I agree. And it's so easy to share. It's so easy to share. Just give me a second as I get a sip of my hot chocolate. It's actually a sort of a cappuccino latte type thing. Instant chocolate latte. Okay, so I do want to let you guys know that for anyone who books a reading while they're on this live, if you want a reading with me, I am here to do readings. And anyone who gets a reading on here, automatically you get to spin the prize wheel, okay? So automatically you get to spin that prize wheel, and you get things like, I know I spinned it once just to see, because I have exchanged readings with other readers here. And so one time I clicked, let's see what this prize wheel is all about. And one of the prizes was an extra 45 minutes with a reader. So imagine how awesome that is. So here you pay $35, you get a live reading with me right now. And even though it says mini, there's a lot of information that I can get out there, okay? So for those who are followers of my page and so forth, who have had private readings with me, definitely. So I'm trying to multitask with the comments here. But welcome, everyone. Wow, thank you, Belinda. You've never called me that before, a beautiful angel. I love it. I'll take it. Thank you so much. Okay, so so I've been just drawn to be using the Psychic Tarot, and I was talking to Maria, who's another reader on here, and I was talking to Joy about this as well. We were discussing earlier today how when we allow ourselves open to spirit, and we all have different ways of inviting or allowing the messages to start to flow through. Okay, so one way that I allow the messages to flow through is to say a guardian angel prayer, and to light a candle. And I have a candle lit right here, super hot, so I feel like I'm going to burn myself if I show you, but there's the top of it anyway. So there's a little bit of a ritual that I do when I'm ready to be in reading mode, right? And by the way, that's all connected to boundaries. So some of you need to hear the message. And I've been getting these spirit downloads constantly, and this is what I was talking to Maria and Joy about earlier today, where we keep getting these messages and we feel like we need to share them out. But we need energy to do other things, right? To take care of our families, to cook, to, some of us are still working. I work from home, so I'm still working. I'm still working on projects. I'm still coordinating things. Not too much has changed in that sense, okay? So let's not assume that, we know that there are people that are still working, whether it's from home or on the front lines, as I call it, in the service industry and so forth. Hello, everyone who's joining. So you see, I definitely connect with different guides around me. And by the way, guys, I do have a lot of decks that if you just book there on the link, it takes you right to PayPal. It's very quick. Or you could use, I think you can use credit card as well, but it's really simple. And just in a few moments, you would be able to hop onto this live. So I agree with what Joy said. She said, let us bring people in here. So if you click and get, you click $35, but you get a mini read from me, which is not so mini because I'm going to tell you a lot of stuff. Thank you so much, Matt, for, helping us to keep our lives as stable as we can right now. We really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Wendy, hello, hello. Okay, so my cards are dying to be read. So I just want to let you know what to expect if you do click on that link. Okay, first of all, you're going to get free something no matter what. So you are guaranteed, and I don't know if it says that, but you're guaranteed to win a prize. So if you click on there and you get the $35 read, it's more than a mini read because I do go into a lot and I have a lot of decks. And I usually allow my guides to pick the deck that is calling and that feels like it's one that wants to work with you. Wendy, nice to meet you as well. Yes, nice to meet you. I do exist. Hello. I hope some of you have popped in and seen me on Why Not Wednesday. That's every Wednesday on the website onlinepsychics.live. Guys, where else are you going to get this? You get a free card pull on Wednesdays, okay? You get a free card pull from any of the psychics that are in the room, and the psychics have been asked to pop in between 5 and 11 p.m. I believe that's the time. So do that. Do. Okay, welcome everyone who is here. So there's messages that are wanting to come through, and some people are more comfortable with oracle cards. That totally works. I'm liking the ones that are oracle cards, but are based on the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot system. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so the love stuff, the sex stuff, that's so funny that you say that. Now, I do have a deck, but I don't feel comfortable using it on a live. But if you ever get a private reading, and you know what, guys? People like Joy, people like Maria, there's a bunch of psychics on the site that you can book anytime. You don't have to wait till we are on live. You might have thought that you had to wait. You don't. But this deck is a juicy deck. It's one that I use with my clients when we are, well, first of all, when there's like new love, in the air, or potential love and romance in the air. And in case some of you don't know, I am very drawn to Indian and Hindu traditions and belief systems. I think that might be apparent. But the Kama Sutra, and Vineet explained that, my fiance, who is actually a psychic as well, and I feel super blessed to be able to connect to so many amazing light workers. But so my fiance, he is from an Indian Hindu background. And so, we were talking about the history of this the other day, and he was saying, how, ideas about, or negative kind of guilt ideas around sex and around sexuality and around expressing sex, while India may still be seen and is I think most would say, even most Indians would say, that the Indian culture is still in some ways modeled on that sort of Edwardian or Victorian sort of British, those ideas around virtue and things like that. But that is post-European influence. Okay, so I'm not going to get into a super duper history lesson here. But I was very curious. I'm in Canada, but I was super curious about American history and just history in general. And you see patterns being repeated. And one of them, unfortunately, is that when one country colonizes another country, they impose part of that colonization, although some would argue there's lots of positives that come out. And I definitely like the fact that, we've had cultures be able to blend together and live, for the most part, in friendly ways. Hi, those who are popping in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So basically, the Kama Sutra was a book that was revered by Hindus, by Indians for a long time. Now, unfortunately, it would be considered pornographic for me to take these cards out and show them on this video in India or other places in the world, because it's considered obscene. There's nothing obscene about spreading love and spreading and just expressing what is actually part of being a human being. Okay, so let's not forget that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And as part of that human experience, sexuality is definitely one element of it, obviously not the only. And you know what? You see these symbols of love in various cultures, and these symbols of sexuality in various cultures. And there's all different interpretations, right? This is like from the Greek culture, okay? So this is just an example of, not having so much shame and carrying so much negativity around expression and sexuality. But some of you might be wondering, about the love readings and so forth. I do readings on any topic, and I also connect to deceased loved ones. I would not do that on a mini read because it's something that takes more time. But if you'd like to book a half-hour session on the website, just go on onlinepsychics.live on the website and click to have a reading with me there. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm not missing anyone's comments. Thank you for all your positive comments. Amazing. Yes, I do love decks. I try to choose them according to the energy that I'm picking up. Now, anyone, I think I was saying this before, just want to remind anyone who's just popping in, welcome, welcome. What we're offering today is if you click on that link and it'll carry you to the PayPal information and so forth. But what will happen is I will, Kat will bring us in because Kat is watching and she's here. She's in the background. Thank you so much, Kat, for all your hard work, background, behind the scenes work. So Kat will bring you into the live stream with me. And, you can stay on as long as you want, but you could answer or ask the question there. Now, if you're a little bit shy and you don't want to be on video, you can also just do audio and you can point the camera at the window or turn it off or whatever. Okay. So that's always nice. And, but you don't have to, you can just simply ask it in the comment section as well, if you'd rather not jump into the live. So nice to meet you too, everyone. Or nice to see you too. So you're into Greek and Celtic lore. Okay. Really cool, Matt. So back to, so again, if you click that, not only will you get a reading from me where I can connect to your energies, my guides and guardian angels connect with your energy, and we have messages that come through. I've been having really strong, there's weeks where, the messages are stronger, other weeks not as much. It depends. Sometimes days, certain things happen. So the last few days, and Kat, I wonder if you identify with this or connect to this, but the last couple of days have been super, like I've been getting downloads very much so. So this happens where it's like sometimes for a while I don't as much, and then other times I'm getting these downloads a lot. Hi, Tamara, welcome. Lovely to see everyone here. So in terms of love and love readings, the primary things I encounter in my private readings are issues of communication, people thinking that they're expressing what they want or what they're needing, but as much as their intention or their thoughts might be on those ideas and what they're wanting, the communication part is a bit of a struggle. Okay. So we're talking about, or I'm just getting into, love readings and what I encounter in most of the readings that I do, whether they're direct, tarot, or if they're mediumship and so forth. I'm finding that people, and maybe some of you feel this, maybe some of you are wondering, why is it taking so long for me to meet my soulmate? Or why is it that we keep having the same issues in this relationship over and over and over again, right? So communication is a big thing that I keep encountering in my private readings. Sorry, just want to drink some water. Unicorn mug. I think everyone should have a unicorn mug. Or whatever animal spirit type thing that they relate to. Lately, I've been seeing myself as a turtle, but I assure you that's not in any negative way. Sorry, I'm just pouring some water. That's not in any negative way that I see myself as a turtle. It's more a realistic look at, just because I don't go according to someone else's timeline, and believe me, I don't, just because I'm a slowpoke in many ways does not mean that I'm not getting closer to the finish line, okay? And I appreciate many people who have been super patient with me. Kat, you're definitely one of them. I'm seeing some wonderful people, wonderful faces on here, wonderful support. And so Kat, I really want to take this moment, and I didn't tell you I was going to talk about this, but I really want to take this moment to thank you for being patient with me. I do struggle with anxiety. Hi, Kat. Yeah, I want you here while I'm speaking to you. Yeah. But yeah, I needed to share this because I was lied to for many years. And the lie that I was told for many years was that I better change who I am, or I'm going to have a hard time, or I'm not going to be happy, or whatever those negatives were. I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to have a good time. Nobody's going to like me. I won't have friends. Like, fill in the blanks. But that's what I heard for a very long time. And then I started believing it myself. So that's what happens a lot of time. When we have critics or a bully around us, we start, especially as empaths. Well, I'm getting the goosebumps. So I feel a lot of us are feeling that as empaths, we take this all in, and all these things that maybe come naturally to a lot of people, like boundaries or patience or whatever. Okay, so I'm going all over the place. I'm bringing my thoughts back, and what I want to say to you, Kat, is that I got the job on the site back in October, and due to anxiety issues, I have taken a long time to be able to do lives with the website. I mean, I've done other things, and I always I love supporting everybody who's on. I get really excited. Obviously, I'm passionate about this work, okay? I don't just pretend to be a geek. I am a geek. Okay. But Kat, you've been patient with me every step of the way, and I want to tell you that is why I saw you as a mentor from day one, even before. I don't even know if we talked, but I just saw you on these videos, and I was like super amazed because you said I read you well, maybe, or maybe it's just very obvious to many of us that you are a very caring and loving soul, and I feel like you take us under your wing like we're your little birds or something. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I just feel like a little bird. So I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much for being patient with me and extending love always. So I love you so much, and thank you so much.
It's okay. You're welcome. We'll have you soon.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is so fun. Okay, back to work, Kat. Go do. Kat has lots of things to do. So.
Lovely day.
Okay. Okay, guys. So I'm having too much fun today, but you know what? We need a little bit of fun. We need a little laughter. People are super stressed. People are tense. I am not downplaying the fact that people are worried and stressed, especially if they have family members that they may worry are sick, or they have family members that they can't get to or whatever, right? Like, I get that. But I also think wherever and let's just remind ourselves, okay, wherever we place our thoughts is what is going to bring our reality, right? That's what's going to shape our reality. Hi, Delaney. Well, nice to meet you. Unless you use a different name on the site, I'm not sure who you are, but I exactly know what you mean. She's been super patient. And, I think it also helps. Well, first of all, like I was saying, I've been used to people telling me that, you got to stop this, or you got to change that, you got to be this, you got to be that. Oh, this is just a rose quartz pendulum, but I'm just holding up because rose quartz energy is super positive. So guys, we are doing readings, live readings. Before I get more distracted with my thoughts, I just want to remind you that if you'd like a reading, just click on the link there. You get to spin the prize wheel for a guaranteed prize. So every time you spin, there's a guaranteed prize. I tested it out one time, and I got, it said 45 minutes of, extra 45 minutes onto the reading. So whatever reading you pay for, you get an extra 45 minutes. And if you paid for a reading on here and you got extra 45 minutes, we would do that as a private reading on the website. Okay. So, yeah. So, Joy, you asked me, and I don't know if you're still there, but Joy, you asked me about, love and stuff, and the love readings, and the sex expert and so forth. Really, it's about, what do I keep hearing from my clients, and what is this telling me that we are needing in order to attract the right relationship that we are wanting to attract. And by the way, not everyone wants to attract a relationship. Okay, so let's not do that. Let's not do the assumption where we think that if someone's not in a romantic relationship, poor them, boo-hoo, we have to feel sorry for them. Let's not do that either. Okay, so let's not make assumptions. But I do get a lot of readings that people are looking for a soulmate, they're looking for a life partner, or they are in a relationship, they are in a marriage, and things haven't been working very, very smoothly for them. Yes, please do share. Now, I can't see how many people are on here when I'm looking through the website or through this platform. But definitely, Joy, thank you so much. That would help if people share. In terms of, so things that I keep seeing when it comes to these love readings, communication issues, people also are not trusting their intuition. People will ask me something, and then I'll connect with my guides and guardian angels. And if they've paid for mediumship, I reach out to deceased loved ones and ancestors, and they come through with messages. Sorry. And okay, so there's a message coming through for someone here. Okay, so I am getting a message for someone here about their home situation. Um, there's some things that are on, it's almost like on a repeat button. And so it's funny because I was just thinking about communication, and I'm seeing for some people, for someone here, maybe this is more than one person, but there's a communication problem in terms of, you feel like, do I have to keep repeating this? Like, I've already said this a bunch of times. Why is it that I keep being met with the same response or the same resistance? And I am just going to pull one card. This may apply to somebody here, but I'm just feeling that there's a message. But guys, if you do want a private reading, which, I mean, I'm saying private, but what we'll do is you'll have the reading right on here, and we'll bring you into the live stream. You'll ask your question, okay? And you definitely are guaranteed a free prize. And there's various things that you can win. And one example could be, an extra half an hour, an extra 45 minutes with a reader, okay? Okay, accelerated motion. All right, isn't it interesting how so many of us have physically slowed down? So many of us have had to change our routines, change the way we do things, when we do them, with whom we do them, mostly staying in and just not doing those things out there, right? But it's like, this is a great time to actually plan what you have, what's coming up. So I think for many of us, it's like, you know what, this is a great time to work on those projects. And again, this is not ideal for everyone. I do realize that some people have kids at home that, normally would be at school. There's different challenges, and I'm in no way saying that for everyone it's super easy peasy lemon squeezy to move forward in those ideas that you had. But this is, let me see, is this purple? It's hard to see in this light. Purple or blue? Purple. So this is the Wands energy. Wands energy. I know it looks blue on the screen, but it's purple. And this is very much whatever it is that, a hobby or something that you're wanting to bring forward. This is definitely a time. But it's a lot about planning and taking, before you take those steps, right? Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is PsychicSamadhi. Just a little bit about me. I used to be a high school teacher. A catchphrase that I used to say was Miss Sandy knows, just because, students, my first name is Sandy, so it's Samadhi Sandy Singh. And so a lot of my students would be asking something, and I'd be like, no, what are you really asking? Or what's beyond, right? So I was doing this whatever we call psychic work or light work. I've been doing this for a very long time. But I used to, in many ways, tone it down. I definitely wouldn't really talk about being able to see and know things other than my very close family members. I really wouldn't. And what I noticed is that, because I wasn't open about things, I wasn't actually getting as much, because that has to be it, right? Like, I keep thinking, well, why did it take till just a year ago-ish, right? Give or take. Why did it take that long for my, let's call them gifts or whatever, to be coming through? And in particular, mediumship, connecting with those on the other side, connecting with those through the veil, and the veil is thin. It seems like the easiest thing to be able to do, by the way. I've thought to myself, why did it take so long? Why did it take, I'm not going to tell you my specific age, but I'm no spring chicken. Hello, Rhonda. You are new here. Welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you for sharing this out, everyone. Sharing is caring, and I appreciate your encouragement, Joy. Oh my gosh. So Joy is, she's a light worker. She's a healer. She's all this juicy stuff, and she's a friend as well. And she was so encouraging in her messages. She basically said, just do what you're already doing. So I was saying, this live is coming up and it's new, and I don't remember what I was saying, but I got a tad it's not even that I got nervous. It was the habitual thinking is like, it's something new. You need to panic. And it's like, I have to reel that back in now that I am trying to not trying, now that I'm really bringing forth that Queen of Swords energy, which is very much someone who is in command of their mental processes. Now that I have healed my depression, and I know it sounds really weird, but we can talk about that for a long time. But let's get back to the romance, and welcome everyone who's here. Welcome. Thank you for sharing out. So back to the love questions. Communication is a huge part of things. Another thing that I keep getting over and over in readings where love and romance is a concern or something that people come to me asking about is what I've boiled down to. It's like not just love languages, although love languages is a huge part of it. It's vibration and energy, right? So what I've come to see is that when our vibration is matching someone else's vibration, it's almost like the communication is effortless. It's almost like the understanding, again, effortless. There's all these things that just kind of click really, really easily. And so what I started noticing was, okay, what's happening now different for me in my current relationship, which, by the way, I did manifest into my life. So part of me healing myself out of my depression, and guys, I only tell you this story not because I'm into telling, stories with a lot of details about my life, because really, I don't really like to do that. But I'm only telling you this to, Spirit is getting me to say, that there's no timeline for certain things. So if, for years, you and your husband or you and your partner have been, hitting your head against the same proverbial wall, and you're always fighting about the same topic, you're always doing the same thing, that does not mean that you have to continue that. Okay. So when you get a reading from me, there's a lot of things that I consider. Definitely, I've been really drawn to astrology, and so that's part of things. I also incorporate energy healing. I incorporate crystals. There's a bunch of things that I do. But right now, if you'd love to join this stream, you can get a reading right now. And just click on that link. And once you do that, you automatically get a prize. Okay, so that's as simple as it can get. You get a mini read, and then you click, and then you get something like, and I'm only using my example over and over again because I was like, yay, this is an amazing prize. I clicked on it to test, and I was like super impressed. And the prize that I got was the extra 45 minutes to whatever read you pay for. So isn't that amazing? If you pay to get on here right now, sorry, I just want to adjusting. You pay to get on here right now, and I give you a mini reading, but there's nothing mini about the reading. Okay, it's not super mini at all. And once I do that, sorry, I'm just getting comfortable here. Once I do that, then, sorry, right before you do that, you would actually spin the wheel. And then next time you get a reading, or you can do this, tomorrow or the next day, you get to have that prize. So it could be 45-minute extra reading like I got when I tested it, or 30 minutes, or other prizes. I don't know them, but I'm sure they're amazing. Thanks, Joy. Sorry, guys, just have to take a drink. Oh my God, there's a curse word there. Naughty girl. Well, it is after 8 p.m. here. So kids, get off. Don't watch this. Okay. Sammy, hello, welcome. So I think I'm pronouncing it right. Relia? Please let me know if that's not correct. So if you would like a reading, I have all my different decks here, so many decks. And, some people have a preference, like they want an angel deck, or they want, and I have all that, okay? So Relia and anyone else, do click on that link. I will give you a so-called mini reading, but there's a lot of information that I'm going to pick up on. My guides and guardian angels help me, and I also get messages from those on the other side. Now, even though I'm not doing specifically mediumship on here, still that doesn't stop messages from coming through. So what I do is when I connect to your energy, if a deceased loved one starts to come through, I receive whatever messages they're telling me. But if there's more of, you wanting to explore and you want to ask more questions and like get into, me really tapping into their energy in a more intense way, then we set up a private read. Okay, so that's how I do things. I know everyone does things in a different way, but I do have different decks that, because I know for some people, they're very particular about which decks, and that's fine. So Guardian Angel, I'm just going to show you some of them that are super, super close to me right now. Psychic Tarot for the Heart. I love to use this for romance readings. And I remember that Psychic Lori used to use this deck, I believe. I believe it was her. Unless I got my ladies wrong, but I think it was her. Kama Sutra, obviously, Joy. You would want this deck, so I'll have to use this deck for you next time. Okay. So Joy is one of the lovely psychics on Online Psychics Live as well. And so lately we've exchanged readings. It's so much fun to do, right? It's like I do my own nails, but there's people that like somebody else to do their nails, right? So I like to get readings done for me, and I also like doing readings for others, which is obvious. So I have different decks if you have a preference, but really, I just connect to my guides, and I see what messages are waiting to come through for you. How's everyone doing? Feels like lots of familiar faces, but also some new people are here. Are those the sexy cards? Yes. So Tamara, I don't know if I would use, well, we'll see. Maybe if people pay for a reading, I will use them on here. Let's see. I might just cover some of the naughty parts a little bit, but I would totally use these. Okay. Joy, you are so bad. So this is a Los Scarabeo deck. So any card fans out here, Los Scarabeo, one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best companies for making decks, tarot in particular. Look at the backings here. I think they're super beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, if you do get a reading, we have only, I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes left or 25. But if you get a reading, you can, there's the option of having it be the Kama Sutra Tarot, which is very much connected to traditions of love, traditions of, well, various nobility traditions and so forth. But it's pre-colonialism influence. So instead of there being, shame around sexuality, we have acceptance and all that juicy stuff. So I am not doing free, but thank you for asking. What we are doing is we are doing only paid readings right now, but you do have a bonus of getting something free. And one of the prizes that you can win is 45 minutes added to your reading. Okay, so I think that's amazing. And maybe later Kat can tell us some of the other type of prizes, but I mean, that's, like I said, I clicked it just to see, and I was super impressed with that. So I think that's wonderful. So does anyone use crystals? And in which ways do you use crystals? I have found that, especially on days where I do a lot of mediumship readings, I say a lot, like 3, but that's a lot because there's a lot of energy required in them. I find that on days where, I hear you, Joy. I hear you. So this is purple amethyst, but whatever crystal, I just chose this one because it's one of the bigger ones. I find that on days that I'm doing a lot of readings, particularly mediumship readings, that I really need to ground myself. And one of the main ways that I ground myself is by connecting to the energy in crystals, okay? And I'm sure you guys have seen where people put crystals like on different chakra points on their bodies. So if heart chakra blockages are a thing for you, and if you don't know if that's a thing, we can find out, okay? Because I am able to, and I didn't even know it was called a chakra scan. There you go. So remember I said I kind of feel like I move at a turtle's pace. Part of that turtle's pace is understanding something intuitively, but it taking me a bit of time. Okay, it could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months, until I understand things also with my logical mind, where it's more about accepting with my logical mind what I have already intuitively just understood. So, and that's the same thing with the crystals. From the first time I started just like holding them to my palm, I was like, I'm feeling this vibration. I'm feeling this energy. And so because I'm not somebody, even before this COVID-19 issue, I was not somebody who goes out a lot or goes into nature very much, like at all. So I find that as long as you charge your crystals, this is a nice kind of substitute for grounding outside, although you can do both. And also I feel, okay, let me just read some comments, 1 second. Yeah, and I mean, people carry them in your pockets and bras, but hopefully they're not this big in your bra, or people might think something's wrong. But yeah, so I have the pink rose quartz crystal here. So, and I use black tourmaline a lot. I just substituted it for this this yoga necklace today, but usually I have black tourmaline on. And that's good for light workers and people who, you know what, not even just light workers, anybody who continues to work out there who are the essential service workers. There is a lot of stress. There is a lot of, you know, we're talking about communication, and definitely all connections are feeling a bit of stress. Even if you started off having the most romantic relationship, and even if you're in a great connection, and I'm talking about relationship wise or romantic wise, right now, you know, with 2 people at home, and maybe in some cases 4 people or 6 people, right? If you have big families, you're in each other's spaces, you're not having as much time away. And even, you know, the most patient people are going to get on each other's nerves sometimes. So I think that if you just, you know, have a crystal around that absorbs any of that negativity, like black tourmaline is an example of one. There's a bunch of others, but if you just have a crystal like this around you, let it absorb any of that negativity, and then, you know, charge the crystals. Also remember to say things like affirmations that help you. But, you know, when it comes to romance, you know, so much of it has to do with love languages, and so much of it has to do with balancing energies. And like I was saying, you know, putting some of these crystals close to certain chakra areas. So like rose quartz is connected to heart chakra. There are a few different ones, but rose quartz is definitely connected to heart chakra opening. So, you know, if you wear a necklace or something and keep it close to your heart, you just keep that energy flowing. Because I have found through my readings, and just, you know, from listening to people's stories and connecting with their energies, I am finding that a lot of these blockages could be changed actually in a pretty, I don't want to say effortless way, but in a way that doesn't take too long and is not so difficult. I think that a lot of people are used to change being a difficult thing, particularly if, like I said, if you've been doing the same thing kind of over and over again, like in relationships. Let's say you've had the same kind of issues for a while. And oh, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry, I don't have YouTube open on here. So I'm not ignoring your comments. I just didn't think to have YouTube open, but next time I will definitely do that. Okay. But welcome anyone. And if I haven't seen any of your comments, so sorry about that. So we have about 10 minutes left, 10 to 15 minutes left. And so what I'd love to do is give you a reading. All you have to do is click on that link, and it takes you to the payment information, and then you get to win something. There is a guaranteed win for every prize spin. So you spin that wheel, and you might get half an hour extra reading, 45 minutes extra reading, and so forth. So it's amazing prizes. Yeah, black crystals are great for protection. Yes. And it's funny because last year I was like, you know what? I know I've gotten into this work now full time, but I don't want to go crazy with the crystals. You know, I'm spending a lot of money on the cards. I don't want to go overboard with the crystals now. So I'm just going to lay off the crystals. Crystals started to find their way to me. Okay. So either I was being gifted a crystal, or there was someone who was selling some crystals because they needed to raise money for a family member. So basically the crystals are finding me. So you know what? It's just like trusting your intuition, seeing what's needed, seeing how your energy vibration shifts when I call it crystal healing, right? Okay. So I do want to do a reading for someone. So once you've paid, please do let us know. But I also want to make sure that people understand that relationship stuff is not impossible. Relationship stuff is possible, and a lot of it has to do with matching a vibe or getting the vibes to be matchy-matchy. Now, I know these are not psychological or scientific terms, but with the matching of the energies, things just flow. You know, it's like the current, right? We always say it's easier to go with the current of water than it is to swim against the current, okay? So when you start to shift your vibrations and shift your energy and both people become more aligned, things start to piece together. Now, for those people who are single, and Belinda, I see your question about what info pendulum gives. So basically, pendulum is yes or no question. So if you get a reading and you just, click on this and you get a reading, in addition to the information that comes through the reading, if you have a yes or no question that you want answered, I can also use the pendulum for additional confirmation. Okay? So I just want people to know that there is hope in terms of finding a soulmate. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you a very, very short story. But the minute you book a reading, I'm going to stop the story and do your reading, and then I'll continue the story. But I'm just going to be really succinct and say that last year, after, things not working successfully in the love department, let's just leave it at that for now, I had really been giving myself time and space to figure out, okay, what do I want to bring forth into my life? What am I not happy with? What are some sources of unhappiness or discontent or frustration? What are some areas of frustration, you're welcome, that I would like to see change, right? So I gave myself that permission to actually start to dream the life that I wanted. So that was a big step. But once I started doing that, and I started doing this work, there were certain questions that started coming through, and relationship questions were a major one. And so it seemed like most people were either struggling with current relationships, like I said, which a lot of it has to do with communication. But another thing was that people were having a hard time manifesting the kind of person that they wanted. And so what I tell people when I do my readings is that you have to set that intention. You have to actually do a few things in order to manifest the love that you want, okay? So when you do get a reading with me, if your question is about love, if you are wanting to manifest soulmate love, there are specific things that you can do to get your thoughts and everything, really, your actions and everything aligned so that you can manifest that. Because I actually believe, and I'm going to be as bold and brave as to say that I believe that anyone can manifest love into their life. And I mean, soulmate love, not even just, I'm not saying that, a fling or whatever is not good. If that's what you want to do you, boo. Okay. But for anyone who is wanting to manifest soulmate love, and I don't think there's just one soulmate out there for everyone. I do believe that and people call them different terms. And again, I'm not so thrilled about all the terms that are out there. And so I'm not going to really use them, because if they don't resonate for me, I'm not going to use them in my work. But definitely manifesting. Okay, I got distracted by the comments. I'm so sorry. But manifesting love is something that anyone who wants to do can. And I can definitely give you some tips on that. I can also pick up on the energy. So what I do is I use my palms and I can scan. I didn't even know it was called this, but a chakra scan. I didn't know, but I used to be able to for years, I used to be able to pick up on energy with palms. And then I kind of stopped doing that. And I've gotten back into it. And what I do is I hold up my hands to, I say the screen. If you were in front of me in real life, I would do this in front of you, but to you in whatever format, even online. And I see what areas are sort of imbalanced, okay? And so we do find that with imbalanced chakras, there's various things you can do, but they don't take a long time. I think people think that as much as, you know, there is work involved in healing, there is work involved in planning, or sorry, manifesting the kind of love that you want. At the same time, it's like with any habit, like when you started walking, and I'm going to keep this at a very micro, simple level here. When you learned to walk, at that time, that was a super challenging thing, right? Every time you would fall, or every time you would half walk and then walk into a chair, right? Like that was all learning. Now, most of us, unless you have some medical issue or reason for it, most of us don't think, okay, how am I going to walk? Right, left, right. Like it's not a plan, it's just a natural. So that's what you find with changing the cassette tape in your mind and shifting that so that you manifest love and not the opposite, which is funny because if you keep doing the, you know, saying and repeating and talking about what's missing or what you're never going to have or what, you know, you're doomed or whatever it is, surprise, you are bringing that into your reality. Okay. So we have a few minutes left, and I would love if somebody would book a reading right now. If you've been wondering about it, if you're not sure, there's been people on here who've confirmed that that, you know, there are messages that do come through when I do a reading for you. So please do click on that link. I have different decks that I can give you the option of choosing from if you want the sexy time deck. I shouldn't call it that, but the Kama Sutra deck, that is a possibility. And I have a bunch of, this title is not sexy. I mean, sounds like it's a sexy deck, Wild Offering, but it's a regular deck, but it just has a sexy title. Yeah, and then the Psychic Tarot for the Heart is a great deck. There's always love and romance messages that come through, but mostly if you are open to receiving messages from, you know, it could be your deceased loved ones. Definitely my guides and angels connect to the energy, and there are always messages to give you and to guide you, okay? But thank you so much for being here, guys. How's everyone doing? You need some? I'm not sure what. Kama Sutra healing? Just kidding. Tamara, what do you need? Sorry, guys, I'm super thirsty. This has a lot to do with, like, I was talking all day. I was doing readings. I was doing lives. I just kept talking. Joy, remind me to send you a link because I'm reading about how you order your crystals from Amazon. Trust me, I order everything, like decks and everything. They're from Amazon. I keep looking on this side, but it's because I have all my decks over here. But someone had told me, I'm not trying to make you paranoid at all and, you know, keep ordering from Amazon, but someone told me that sometimes you don't get, like, yeah, you can refund it, but sometimes you don't get either what they're advertising, or if it's something like, because I wanted to get either a crystal ball or what's the other one? It starts, is it selenite? Yeah, selenite ball. You can get a selenite ball. I wanted to get that, but some people told me that sometimes, depending on the manufacturer and the third party that they are buying from, that it could be glass instead of actually getting crystal, right? So I don't want to do that. But I mean, Amazon is good for returns for sure. Yes, so I won't be doing any singing at this moment here, but thank you, Belinda. That's very kind of you. You know, I figured it out because I was watching a live one day and someone was talking about how one of their guides is like this and one of their guides is like that. And then I was like, oh my goodness, this is making so much sense now. Because ever since I was a kid, I would just like belt into song. And it just always felt like it was outside of me, but I was allowing the voice to work through me. So it always felt like it was something outside of me. So, I mean, I don't really know how to explain it other than I feel at this time that one of my guides is a singer, but also comedian. And the other guide is a teacher with a strong business sense. So far, but I was told I have 8 guides or guardian angels around me. So one of them I do believe is my dad, who passed away in 2016, who has come through a bunch of times, including times when I've been on my own, but also when I've been with family members. So I do believe that he is around me all the time. Okay, so Joy is saying I ordered a crystal ball from Wish and it ended up being 1 inch tall. Yes, that's another thing I've noticed, whether it's from Wish or from Amazon, when you actually, they do it so tricky because they do a close up of the crystal. But yeah, when you actually look at the measurement, it's like super small, right? So I wanted one that was like a decent size, right? Isn't it funny how you were also looking at ordering crystal balls? Oh my gosh, you're my sister from another mister. Oh, I do like Amazon. I don't get the next day delivery thing, but I do love Amazon because anytime that, sorry guys, my eyes itchy. Anytime there's been an issue with any order, they're really good to like give a refund or whatever. Okay, so we just have a few minutes left. This is your time now. If you would like to have a reading, if you'd like to, I want to say splurge on yourself, but I mean, we give to others and we give to others all the time and we don't feel guilty about it. So I think that if there's a question and there's something you need, whether it's myself or one of the other readers, it's really great to, I think, kind of splurge on yourself, get that guidance. If you are just starting to learn to connect with your guides or guardian angels, this is what I was doing when I was learning to connect to my guides and guardian angels. I was getting messages about my path through getting readings from other psychics. And that's why I've gotten readings from Kat. I've gotten readings from some of the other psychics, including Joy. And it just helps you with confirmation about things. Now that I've been doing this for a while, I still love getting readings from each other, but I have been able to just do my own. But for most of us, we pay someone else for a haircut or whatever it is. So, think about this as a gift to yourself. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, the cost of the reading is $35. So it's really like you're getting 2 readings. So with every reading purchase, you spin the prize wheel and there's amazing prizes. I tried it the other day just to test. Cassidy, I just tested it because I'm like, what kind of prizes are on here? Not that I doubted, but I was very, very curious. And the prize that I got was an extra 45 minutes with a reader. So imagine that. Okay, so you pay $35, you get a thorough reading, and then you also get an additional 45. And I think you may be able to choose who you get that with. I'm not quite sure how that works, but we can find out. Okay. Yeah, so Joy, about doing readings for yourself or not, I heard people say that they have a hard time doing that, but I'm able to lately. So, hi, Kat.
No, sorry about my background, everyone. I'm moving, so it looks really messy.
Oh, no big deal. Although I do miss when you had those little lights around you. I do miss that.
I know. So
next time.
Yeah, I'll have it up soon. What did you want to know? Did you want to know something?
Oh my gosh, I just forgot.
About prizes at the...
Oh, so let's say that they win, like, for example, the one that I had tested out where I got an extra 45 minutes. If they win that, is it with me or do they get to choose? Is it with you? Like, who is that with?
They could choose whoever they want to choose with. It gives them an option.
I love that. That's like with the Why Not Wednesday. You get to dabble, you get to choose. Because just like you wouldn't just go to any old counselor or doctor or whatever, you want to choose which is a right match. So that's amazing. Thank you.
It's okay. Joy's giving me a compliment. But we've come to the end of your show.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I've been talking forever, but I hope that I didn't put people to sleep.
No, your show was great. And we have
great.
We have Tony the Global Healer up next.
Amazing.
But you'll be on again soon, Samadhi. I know everyone will like to have you back.
Oh, I would love to. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna be there watching the next show because that's what I do. I love to watch the show.
I know you do, don't you?
Thank you so much, Kat.
Thank you everyone for watching. We hope you have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.
We will see you all soon.